very good afternoon, beautiful people. I hope you are doing fantastically. A very good afternoon to our pack members, and hello to everyone on the public channel. I hope every one of you, every single one of you, is doing absolutely phenomenal. It is a fabulous day out on the Rietspruit. Ooh. Sorry, just seen some tracks. Oh, that's unfortunate. Some old leopard tracks here. I got excited for a second. I was like, we're on the tail of him. Let's do a U-turn. But as horrible as it is to start on said fence line, there is a reason I am on said fence line. The cheetah mom and cub have been discovered again. And you know me, I love my cheetah. So I think the plan for this afternoon, A, head directly there, see if we can't get a visual, and spend some quality time with cheetah mom and cub, aka my bye-bye, and then we'll take it from there. I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks, because you will be seeing a lot of me in the next 2 weeks. It's just me, myself and I, and the lovely Basil on camera. We tag teaming for the next 2 weeks. So we're gonna have lots of fun, folks. We're gonna do birding drives. We're gonna learn new trees. Andrew's got his book with him. Look at that. We are going to be learning together. And hopefully some of the stuff I know, we will learn. Well, I'll be able to teach you something you didn't know. But it's going to be fun. I'm excited. Basil's excited. We've got the lovely Veermon FC skeleton crew, basically. But nonetheless, no reason to be in a bad mood. It basically means go on a day for free. Take it. Wouldn't you? Now, let me just quickly log into the YouTubes whilst I'm currently going through this drainage line. Oh, there's a... Well, those are the lions there. Those are the lions. So the lions have been called in, folks. We won't be finding lions this afternoon. We possibly could if it's the males or that single female that's been separated from the pride again. But unfortunately, the pride has been located at Hippo Dam on Kaya. So unfortunately for us, we cannot go there because we don't have traverse there. But not to worry, there's all the wonderful things here on Blowbank and Leadwood. And who knows, whilst we... Oh my gosh. What on earth? Well, that's something, isn't it, Basil? That's crazy. Let's just investigate this, because there's lion tracks all the way up here as well. And hyena tracks, and I'm pretty positive the hyena tracks are because of said carcass in the way. The lion tracks aren't fresh though, and it looks like the pride. There's multiple sets of tracks, but look at this. This Wildebeest got absolutely smashed, and here you go, prime example. So you know how I said the hyena probably came to the carcass? Well, a hyena has defecated at the carcass. And the reason I can tell this is hyena is because of all the white in this scat. Now the white is basically calcium. Because hyenas have such strong jaw bones and such strong stomach acid, they are actually able to digest bone, which is quite incredible considering other predators. They digest a bit of bone, but they won't eat the bones like a hyena will. And the reason it turns so white is because of the calcium from the bones themselves. Now, I'm not going to touch the dung, but there's something really cool here. And they've only just come out because of the rains. I don't know if you can see, where did it go now? So there are a few beetles here, Basil. I don't know if you'll get them. I'll try hold this down for you. Do you see them here?
Yeah.
Can you get them?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Yes, my cameraman's an amazing, amazing artist. So these look like some sort of species of dung beetle. There are numerous species of dung beetle, but they gathered around the scat. I don't see anything near the carcass, but they gathered around the scat. Even though the scat is very, very old, you can see it's dry, flaky. But one interesting thing from hyena scat, other predator scat, is you can basically, if it's fresh enough, pick it apart. I know it sounds absolutely disgusting, but you can pick it apart and kind of figure out what it's been eating. I don't know if you can see here, but up here is a shard of bone. That must have been painful to let go. But definitely hyena, definitely very old. This carcass itself is also pristinely old. You can see how all the skin has basically been peeled off. This could also be from vultures, jackal, and of course the hyena we've just spoken about. But they've pretty much picked every single piece of meat. The only thing that's really left here is the hide. The hide is here, and the skull with some quite interesting teeth as well. I'm not going to lift this up though. I don't want to get sick or get my hands dirty. Maybe one day when we come back past this area, I'll bring sanitizer with me and we can have a better look. But wow. Weird way to start the drive, wouldn't you say? I hope that's not one of our new additions that just got introduced to the reserve. But then again, with our lions, you never know. But a very good afternoon to all you beautiful pack members. Let's just see who's with us. Good afternoon, Carol, Becky Easterday, Mary, Elsa, Brian, Rosemary, Mom, Dad. Hello, all you beautiful people. If I've missed anyone, please let me know in the comments and I will give myself a slap across the face. No, I'm joking, I won't do that, but I hope I haven't missed anyone. Wildebeest. Oh, don't stress, Mary. I'm still setting in my eyes for the bush, you know. People think that guides just go out and they've got this eagle vision. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I start my 6 weeks compared to me at the end of my 6 weeks, my vision is like this at the end of the 6 weeks. Because you're consistently on game drive, you're looking for things that the normal person wouldn't really look for while they're driving around. And it just, you tend to look for the smaller things like the black tufts of an ear for lion, the white tip of a tail for leopard. But that fades away very, very quickly. I mean, if you think about it, I go and leave for 2 weeks, I go home for 2 weeks, and I'm not on game drive every day. My vision starts to decrease and decrease, and then every time I start here again, I'm like, sure, we gotta work harder, you know. So it's basically, it's like cricket, you know, when you when you're batting in cricket and you take your first ball, it's not going to be great unless you're lucky. It's not going to be great. You've got to work your eye into it and get your eye into the ball, and then you can start clipping sixes. And by sixes I mean leopard, lion, elephant, and the rest of all the wonderful things that call the Rietspruit Game Reserve home. But, like I said, first mission at the moment, find Mabai and cub. I believe she has been found. Kevin is with her, as well as one of the Kaya stations. So we are headed there. They are still quite further north, so we've still got some... Standing by for you, Kevin. I've just turned on to Leadwood Drive. Copy that. Sorry folks, there's a car that's just called me back. Cheetah! I'm gonna go for the cheetah and cub. They're on contractors. It's just Johan who's calling me. So Johan and Colleen are quite involved with Vincent, the cheetah meta population. A brilliant organization that is saving cheetah at the moment. They actually are introducing cheetah to India because once upon a time, yonks ago, cheetahs did roam India as well, which I find just incredible, you know. Now, obviously the cheetah they're taking across are not genetically Indian cheetah, they're African cheetah, but to hopefully start bringing the population up, you know, it's worth an attempt, otherwise they will be extinct forever. So what Vincent's doing is just true magic. I think he's actually back from India for a bit. So hopefully we'll be doing some cool stuff soon. But what a gorgeous day. It's around 30 degrees Celsius at the moment, I'd reckon. It's a bit cooler now with the wind as we're driving, but when you stopped in the sun, sure, it is warm. What would you say, Basil? 30? 32. So Basil's gone even higher. 32, he says. Should we see who was closer? Should we check the weather? I think Basil's closer, to be totally honest. Yeah. Oh, well. Well. We're both the closest. It's 31. And Basil said 32, I said 30, so
good afternoon, Kevin, mobile.
It's kind of a 50-50 at the moment. Got some helmeted guinea fowl here. Folks, I'm going to drive past them just because they've said the cheetah and cub are on the move. So, A, we want to get to them before they disappear, but B, also might be really cool to have them on the move. You never know. It's already 5:15 here in South Africa. Slowly starting to cool down, and they are diurnal animals, which means they will be hunting towards sunset. They hunt at sunrise. I have seen cheetah hunt at midday, but they prefer hunting sunrise, sunset, the crepuscular hours, if you will. And so who knows, with them being on the move so early, if we follow them for long enough, you know, I don't know about all of you, but I'm quite interested to see if cheetah cub. Now I saw a post, Evans, 18 months old. Thank you so much, Carol, for sending me that. You've actually made my life a lot easier. Young foot longer drive. Calculate when Mubaba's cub was born. I've just lost connection. Basil, you still on TeamSpeak, eh? Sorry folks, just give me ones. Aha, I'm back in. Let's see. Thank you, Becky. No, I like that you put it in all caps. It's going to be a phenomenal 2 weeks. We are going to see all the great things, and I'm hoping This is very cruel of me to say. So this is all of you and my little secret. But I really am hoping we might crack a leopard or two in the next 2 weeks, just to make Gareth and Victoria that much more jealous when they come back. I know it's cruel, but you know, among guides we have this banter. Just before they left, I said, I'm gonna find a leopard, if not one, maybe two. And Victoria said, fat chance. Gareth said, yeah, sure. So I do kind of want to prove to them that I can do this. Well, they didn't want to stop and chat, did they? Drove. No! This is where we need the radio, most importantly. Okay, well, we might have to just stop at that junction between Contractors and Leadwood Drive. And then after the Cheetah, we can always head back to Leadwood Dam and see if the hippos aren't back. Unfortunately, the wild dogs are on Kaya. I checked their collar just before we went live. They pinged at the far northern fence line of Kaya, so we won't be seeing them, unfortunately. But I will try in the next 2 weeks to get them on camera for us. Oh, Becky, I thought you were just so excited. Mary, I thought the same thing. I was like, yes, that's the spirit. We're in this for the money. Well, not the money, the sightings. The sightings being the money. We're waiting on snow today. Becky, I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad I'm not where you are. I have a thing against the cold. My hands and my feet just refuse to work. Like all the blood just gets sucked from the fingertips into the core of my body. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite glad I'm here. Hey, Jakes. Just drove past Jakes, the one and only, the man who always feeds the dogs for us whilst they were in the boma. Absolute magical man. One of the kindest souls you'll meet in the bush.
Just keep going until you get to the next stop to your right, and then when you see the drainage line to the dam wall, just follow that down.
Was that for me? Kevin for Andrew.
I'll go ahead.
Sorry, I only got half of that transmission. Is it better to come down Leadwood Drive or Contractors?
Contractors.
Copy that, thanks. And now Jake's wife is just driving past. Shame, lovely, lovely people. And you know, it's always good to keep good rapport up with other homeowners, other guides on the reserve. You know, I want people to work with me, not against me, and vice versa. So like, if someone's like, have you seen this? I won't be that guide that goes, no. Meanwhile, I'm sitting with a leopard, you know. Okay, maybe with a leopard, you might wait 10 minutes before you call it in. But I mean, like, you're gonna call in sightings and help your fellow comrades because you would expect them to do the same, right? So that's just that's why I'm kind to everyone 24/7, pretty much. Well, that's why we try to be kind to everyone, because, you know, you never know when they're gonna help you find something, and vice versa. So it's always good just to keep that rapport going. Alrighty. I need your energy. It's the ADHD, Becky. It's what gets me going in the morning. And then have 2 cups of coffee, and I do this off the roof. I just bounce back and forth between the roof and the floor. Now, Kevin said a drainage line. I didn't see anything.
Leading the cheetah to Kevin with Andrew about to join.
What?
And just lying spot near the drainage system into the dam.
I'll just wait for Kevin to come out and then we'll use the same track as he does to get in there, just so we don't destroy more vegetation with the off-roading and the new growth. We don't want to destroy anything.
Station, I'm joining you. I'm 3 minutes out with the cheetah, Leadwood Dam.
Thank you, Carol. Fingers crossed. I'm not jinxing it though. Fingers crossed, touch wood. Oh, thank you, Elsa. I really appreciate it. But we're just gonna have to see what comes of this. Thanks, guys. Alrighty. So there's another car. Kevin's gone this way. Now, I do have my camera with me, folks, and I'm yet to get a proper photo of Cheetah Cub. I really want a nice upfront portrait, especially of that little birthmark under her eye. Now, I know Carol did some investigating for us yesterday and said it could be a multiple number of reasons why her eye is like that. But we still obviously can't really justify which one of those reasons it is, you know. How's it, guys? You guys doing well? Yeah, I can't complain with this. I need to just try adjust for Basil. Can I swing in there? Can I? Because I'm gonna basically, are you guys still good, eh? You're not planning on going anywhere? Because I'm gonna have to just put him on the left side to film. Or let's do this. They've got us at a tricky angle here. So I'm gonna do my best. Am I good?
Contracted in driving and then get through this little road on the left and come down that and then get onto the drainage line.
Hello, you beautiful little cub.
Copy, thank you.
There you go, bro. That's the best I'm gonna do. Just because of the car, I want to leave enough space so they can go around us as well. We're not blocking you, eh? Sure, sure. Fabulous. Thank you for letting us join. It's awesome, eh? She's done well, raising the cub. Isn't that just incredible? Oh, we are so spoiled. Hey Barbara, I hope you are doing fantastically. My link sent me to the... Oh, shame. I'm so sorry, Barbara. I don't know why it did that. I will do some investigating for you. But, sorry about that, guys. And Mary says heterochromia, which I assume is the eye. I can't think of the word now. Well, let's just go with birthmark. The birthmark under the eye, essentially. But, you know what? We cannot complain. Whatever the reason for that cub's eye being the way it is astounding. Now you can see them panting quite a bit, and that's just because it's so hot. Even mom's panting away. See, now this is very interesting. So with this book I've got here, it says, although cheetahs are relatively large in size, they do not attack large ungulates like wildebeest, zebra or buffalo. This is due to the fact that pulling powerful animals down requires great strength, and it potentially could cause risk injury to said cheetah. But I know this is false because we know that the cheetah on Kaya the other day caught a semi-mature adult bull kudu, the two cheetah brothers. So this is where I look at books and I refer back to real life, and I'm like, well, I mean, you can say one thing, but I mean, you know, nature just finds a way of just proving you wrong, if you will. Sure, they are panting away, hey? Now, in terms of cubs, well, whilst we've got a cub here, I actually read something very interesting the other day of lion cubs in the Masai Mara. And apparently, martial eagles have been known to swoop down and steal lion cubs from a pride. And believe it or not, it doesn't happen often, but it has been recorded. And believe it or not, it's been recorded several times. So between 2008 and 2023, last year, there were 9 records of martial eagles swooping in, plus photographs of martial eagles swooping in and taking off with a lion cub. Now, with that being said, in my professional opinion, all of those eagles that managed to successfully get away with a cub would have been female. Now, we know that sexual dimorphism in big birds of prey, normally the females are bigger, and the only reason I say that I think they're females is because, you know, a lion cub, although very small, still weighs quite a bit. And if you're a bird trying to take off in flight and you've got this extra weight added down to you, you know, that's going to stop you from taking off quickly, especially if you're swooping in on a lion pride of all things. So that's the only reason I say, in my opinion, it would be female. The eagles, that is. Oh, this cub is beautiful, hey? Doesn't really get better than this. I'm sure Basil's gonna try and get a close-up of that eye if he decides to, well, if she decides to turn her head. Come on, madam. Sure, they are very, very hot. Now, like all cats, they don't really have normal sweat glands, if you will. They do have sweat glands. They just, however, situated in their paws, which obviously is not the greatest place for any cat or any animal per se to have sweat glands, especially if you let's say, trying to survive in the middle of summer, you know, you want your sweat glands to be very accessible to the wind. So oftentimes, especially with the lions, that's why you'll find lions lying on their back with all four paws up and trying to just really cool themselves down. And the same happens with cheetah. I've actually taken photographs of cheetah on their back with their paws up, and that's just them trying to cool down with the wind as well. But how lucky are we that we get to spend time with cheetah mom and cub. This cub is just so gorgeous. Oh, I forgot about the comments. Let's have a look. Hi Connie, I hope you're doing fabulously. Look who we found. Cheetah mom and cub. I don't know why I keep saying cheetah mom. It's my bye-bye, Andrew. Come now, use the word. Indeed, Carol, they don't read books. So like I said, they always try and contradict whatever anyone tries to make a point about them. They're like, you think you know me, but you don't know me. So Becky, cheetahs are diurnal. They don't, at night they tend to hunker down, being bottom of the food chain. They tend to hunker down quite a bit in the long grass at night. Unlike other predators like your lion and your leopard, if you will. But so they hunt at the crepuscular hours, and so they don't hunt into the night, but they will hunt, I suppose, even if the sun's gone past the mountain, but you can still kind of see visually during the day. But I don't think, I suppose you can't say no though. Any predator is opportunistic, you know. If the opportunity arises, you know, like, they will take it, I'm sure. Quite unfortunate that the lionesses they are on Kaya. That was actually my original plan this afternoon, to go find them, because apparently all of you and was it a Zoom or YouTube where you had the single lioness? YouTube. No, it was, you were with Gareth, eh? It would have been Tuesday, it would have been a Zoom.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah, so the other day, folks,
Yeah, no problem.
sorry folks, just listening to the radio there, see what everyone's up to. Everyone kind of seems interested in the cheetah, so try and spend as much more time as possible before we have to share with other. Okay, someone else is pulling up. That's good. Well, I wouldn't say good, but it means we don't have to exit immediately.
Just keep going. Long contractors, about 80 meters from where you are, there's a 2 track to your right. Take that right again onto this sort of man-made drainage line that we're on.
Sure. They are both panting up a storm. Now, on a day like today, where it's still quite hot right now, I think they're gonna be quite flat for a while still before any hunting or anything along those lines takes place. Can you get around? You sure? Have a great day, guys. Thank you. You too. Ooh, cheetah cub is up. Look at that. What have you seen? What have you seen, young one? No, I'm gonna go flat again. I was just trying to trick Andrew. Ah, there you go. Mary confirmed it. It was a Zoom. So the other day, there was a single lioness that Gareth and Basil had no idea was in the bush right in front of them. And you know what? When I say it like that, it sounds like Basil and Gareth weren't using their eyes. But I guarantee you, had you been in the same situation, you for sure would not have seen that lioness. Apparently it was just so random out of the blue, hey? Like it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but Gareth saw it that it was coming towards the pool, and then he was like, lioness.
But when you originally saw it, you had no idea it was like so close to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's wild, eh? That is, oh, cheetah's getting up. Where are you going, girl? Are you gonna go join mom, or are you just repositioning yourself? Yeah, there you go. Just repositioning. I'm gonna see if I can.
Kevin, I'm leaving the station there.
Let's see if we can just reposition. Sorry, Basil. How's that for you? Is that better?
You'll then see the sighting from the road, but carry on past the sighting for about
Let's just see who's joining us.
take the 2 tracks to your right, and then you approach down a
How's it, guys? You good there? Okay, cool. How awesome is this, eh? Not a shabby way to spend a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, we had them yesterday here as well. I mean, I suppose it's not a bad thing. You know where to find them the next day then. But I swear they were somewhere before this on Blowbunk. Basil? Do you remember where they were on Blowbunk before they came back here?
Next to the base.
Yes, that's it. They were right by the Hace Gate. Blowbunk Gate. Carol, I'm not going to lie, those type of sightings are the best because you're just like, what? Where did you come from? How did this just occur? What is going on type thing, you know? You always question it. You're like, surely not. Where did you come from? This is where you ask the 5 questions. Who, what, where, what. Who, what, when, where, why, how. This is where you ask all those questions. You can really see them trying to cool themselves down by panting as well. I mean, they found a really nice little patch of shade in between all the sun. The sun is slowly setting, but still quite high above the mountains for now. I'm just going to find out if anyone knows where the elephants were last seen. Oh, the radio never wants to work with Andrew. It's always like, how can I mess with Andrew today? Summer is upon us though, folks. The amount of insects and reptiles I've been seeing lately. Still, unfortunately, haven't seen any of the snakes. And you know me, I'm snake nuts, so I'm always trying to find snakes. But I did find a rock monitor yesterday at Hayes, which was pretty awesome. He climbed a big weeping boer bean next to the tents. Now, there's also been some other not so friendly visitors at the tents lately that have been waking me up sparrow fart in the morning at 5:30 every morning, folks. For the past 5 days, the vervet monkeys have been jumping on my tent roof. There's vervet monkey scat all over the roof. It's quite vile, actually. And I also don't wake up in the greatest of moods being woken up to monkeys jumping on my tent. But I've learned to kind of laugh at it and be like, they're just enjoying themselves. Sure, guy behind us, is that enough already? I could sit here for 2 hours. Is there much rainfall? So Becky, believe it or not, it doesn't look like it, but you know, this was all dry, arid, barren a couple of days ago. And the other day, over the weekend, I think it was last weekend, we had 2 days of just downpour. And we actually received a fifth of our annual rainfall for the whole year in 2 days. It was about 80 mils, which was quite ridiculous, to be totally honest. Oh, little cubby. Does anyone have a little good name for said cub? Or should we give it a name? Should we not? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm going to quickly try and call Kevin and what? Flat cats. I mean, nonetheless, still just such a privilege just to spend time. Like I always say, you know, here on the Rietspruit, our cheetah sightings are unparalleled to some of the other bigger, more well-known 5-star game reserves you can go to. I think, if I'm being completely honest, and we were quite spoiled in the Pilanesberg with cheetah as well, this by far is the best cheetah viewing I've ever had. It is phenomenal. Oh, sleepy kitty. Kevin for Andrew.
I'll go ahead.
Do you possibly know what the last known location of the herd was?
I haven't been seen for quite a few days. I'm really looking for some tracks for them, but I'm not finding anything.
Copy that, thanks. Well, apparently they haven't been seen for a couple of...
The location I knew a good couple of days ago was near Boskop.
Copy that. When I leave the cheetah, I'm going to slowly start heading in that direction. Try and give you a hand as well. I see names here. I've seen skinks and plated lizards. Carol, that Mozambique spitting cobra that was caught on critter cam is the biggest Mozambique cobra, spitting cobra, I've ever seen in my whole life. If I saw that on foot, I would run at it. As a snake lover, as a normal human being, I'd run away from it, but being Andrew, I tend to run towards snakes instead of away from them, like a silly human being. Bye-bye means elegant, I believe. So grace isn't a bad one, Carol. I mean, she is very graceful. But not Spot. Brian says let's name her Bonnie. But then we need a Clyde, Brian. We need a Clyde. There's no Clyde at the moment. Bonnie's also a good one. Basil, any names for cub?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay, Basil's just going to have a think about it and get back to us. I'm also just currently thinking, what could we name her? Let's put there.
Elephant bull tracks on Mamba Road, close to the junction with Twin Crossing.
Copy. Alright, so it sounds like the Ellies are more close towards Hayes. So I think we'll give the cheetah another 5 minutes and then we will slowly start making headway back onto Blowbunk side. But come folks, we need to name her before we leave this current spot.
Well, I'd say a Tonga name, Sisana.
Sasana.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
means little girl.
Little girl.
Yeah,
Sasana.
Sisana.
I actually dig that, Basil. I'm going with that, folks. So Basil, it's Tonga, eh?
Yeah, Tonga.
So Basil said, why don't we name her little girl in Tonga, which is Sasana, which I think is actually a brilliant option. Basil, I'm impressed. That's a well done, sir. Let me know if you folks like Sasana. Carol, I do know that, but you know, everything else seems to have a name, so I'm just kind of going with it at this point. It will be sad regardless. I mean, we've followed her for almost a year now, so regardless of a name or not, I feel like we're just as attached to her. And it's going to be heartbreaking when she does get relocated. But we also do know, and we all understand, that she needs to be relocated so we can keep the genetic diversity going, so there's no inbreeding of cheetah, which Vincent is working very hard at. Now, I did mention Vincent earlier from the Meta Population Initiative. He does everything cheetah related.
Kevin going on to Blowbunk number 4.
Sorry folks, I seem to have dropped my phone. How do you spell Sasana?
S-E-S-A-N-A.
S-E-S-A-N-A. Sasana. Mary, I mean Carol, I just typed it because I needed Basil to spell it out for me. I didn't actually know I could respond to all of you beautiful people in the comments. This is quite cool. Maybe we can have a YouTube chat and a live chat going. You respond to what I'm saying via the YouTube, and then I'll respond back via the microphone and the YouTubes. That could be fun. Elsa, we cannot wait for you to come out to Africa and come on Game Drive with us. We'd love to have you here and get to share the wonderful, wonderful animals of the Rietspruit Game Reserve with you. So, Mary and Carol, Basil spelt it below, so that's the spelling. But how are we all feeling on the Sasana name? I think it's brilliant. I think it's actually Basil. Kudos.
And if they can't find it on Google, they can put XI before the Sasana, so she Sasana.
XI. So if you're looking for the translation on Google,
Yeah.
if you're not finding anything with Sasana, you go XI.
SE.
Sesana. Not too often you have an extra hand for typing in the chat. Mary, right? Agreed. And especially now. So one thing I've discovered is next year, early Feb, in my next leave cycle, I'm going to have to organize wrist surgery, which I'm not excited for. I'm not wearing my brace currently because it was in the wash, because it was smelly after wearing it for a week. But that unfortunately has to be dealt with next year. So for those following few months, there won't be any extra hands, maybe not even one for a camera. We'll have to see, touch wood. She is just so beautiful, even just eyes closed. Wow. And those teardrops down their eyes obviously help with the sun. Being black, the sun gets attracted to it, it doesn't get reflected. If those teardrops were white, it would reflect the sunlight and actually be a lot brighter for the cheetah. So the black teardrops actually help them not, it helps with the brightness of the sun. Someone's flying over us as we speak. Ah, it's the stingbacks. Oh, I recognize that Cessna anyway. Now a Cessna, folks, is just a very, very small aeroplane. It's a type of aeroplane model. All right, Basil, well done. The viewers are saying they like it. You just named an animal, bruh. Well done. And, like I said, Carol's putting your photo up on her wall. So congrats on that as well.
Thanks, Carol.
Wait, let me take the mic off quickly. Carol, Basil wants to say something.
Thank you so much, Carol. Really appreciate it.
Oh, well done, sir. Doing an astounding job.
You know, we should have an ID kit for my bye-bye.
Good point, Basil. Basil's made an excellent point, folks. Do we have an ID kit for my bye-bye? Now, I'm sure Carol does. I'm sure she does. But I don't. So I'm going to take some close-ups of her face to get the spot and whisker patterns, and some landscape of her body to get the full coat. Oh, what a way to start a drive, hey folks. Spending almost an hour with cheetah. So the car behind us is leaving the sighting now. Cheers guys, have a great day, eh? I think we're gonna follow suit, folks. Spend maybe 1 more minute with them, just because I don't want 2 vehicles moving at the sighting at once. That is a rule I've learnt whilst being under the guidance of Brent and Kevin. Always 1 vehicle moving at a time, which I can actually understand. And now they've both turned their backs on us. They're like, please just leave me alone. Please, I just want my own space. I just want to be free. 12 cheetahs. You can be free. Oh, so precious. Carol, I have taken some close-ups of Mabai's face and her body if you want me to send them to you. And Basil, Carol says, I appreciate you taking the photo she asked for. Did she ask you to take that?
Yeah, she did.
Sure. Everyone's got the photography eye here. I'm loving this. Should do a photographic safari for everyone. Maybe I should do that in the next 2 weeks. Andrew, how do you look through your viewfinder? How do you decide what's a good image and what not? How do you edit? Because a lot of people think I edit, like I've taken a photo, right? A lot of people think, I know the edit I'm going to do for that photo. 99.9% of the time I edit 3 different versions, and then I'm like, okay, neither 3 of these work. Let's incorporate these 3 and kind of combine them, and then boom, the final product comes to play. But I don't know, let me know, folks. Would you guys like to do more photography-based drive as well? I'm just trying to think of different things we can do for the next 2 weeks, because I don't want you guys to get bored of my face. That would be pretty epic. Connect my camera to the stream so the viewers can see what I'm taking photos of. Don't tempt me, Basil. I might just, but then we literally probably, oh sorry, we'll probably sit at a sighting for 2 hours straight and just photograph sleeping lions or something. Because I've been thinking lately, you know, sleeping lions. What do I want to see with sleeping lions? Well, quite a few actually ideas I've got for sleeping lions. So regardless of the subject being sleeping lion, giraffe, wild dogs, elephants, you name it. I don't know. Do you guys think it would be pretty cool to do kind of like a photography-based drive? Like, how do you go about taking photos? And we can discuss it. We can discuss like what people's preferences are and how to focus your photography on that and so forth. So let me know. I think it would be pretty awesome. I see hippopotami. Do you know what? Let's go the other way, Basil. So we can get that view of the mountains behind them. just not drive off a cliff at the same time. Next thing, I throw Basil into the drainage line behind us. I don't think he'd try and make me look pretty anymore. If anything, he'd be out to get my bad side. So I want to try and keep my cameraman as happy as possible over the next 2 weeks. I'll do my best. I make no promises, but I'll do my best. Lekker. Basil says he'll also do his best, so we're gonna work hand in hand together. But look at this, folks, with those mountains behind them. My word. Look at that. That is just breathtaking. Mountains, hippos, the whole shebang. Carol, I will definitely send you those. I just need to download them from my SD card. So give me 2 to 3 working days if you don't mind. I'm terrible at going through my SD cards. If anything, as a photographer, that's my downfall. I hate going through SD cards, but I love when you find an epic photo in between going through your SD cards. So, you know, catch 22. Mary, I agree. I'd honestly love to see how animals view us, especially as guides, or not even necessarily guides, just vehicles driving around the reserve, you know. Like, what do they, I'd love to know what they think of us as well. Like, I know I try and talk to the animals, like, I know I'm not Dr. Dolittle. I like to pretend they respond. They don't actually respond to me, but I kind of like to say what I would hope they would say back. But people are keen for a photo drive. Well, who knows, maybe we can incorporate it into all the drives and be like, well, this is how I would do this, and so forth. And, you know, what we could do is, I don't know, maybe whoever comes up with the best angle of a photograph, and then I take that photograph, you know, if it comes out power, send that photograph to whoever gave the idea of it. I don't know, just as like incentive or something to give ideas. I don't know, folks. I'm just trying to be creative here as well. Andrew with a thinking hat for once. For once. Where did Calf go? Probably hiding underneath Mom. Sure, that hippo bull is a big hippo, hey? You do not want to mess with something like that. Even though we parked quite close to the water, he seems quite comfortable with us. He hasn't let us know that, you know, guys, you're getting too close. He hasn't given us any warning signs that he's agitated, upset with us. You know, if I were to stand outside the vehicle right now, he probably would get agitated. But, you know, us being seated, they still see us as a whole. And the reason I say stand up is because, you know, when guides give you a briefing, they go, folks, rule number 1, please do not stand. And we don't say that for our health. Guides don't just say it for, you know, laughs and giggles, but it really does play a role. Animals see the vehicle as a whole. They're used to, you know, maybe 6 to 8 people on the back of a vehicle, but sitting. So they see that vehicle as a whole. And as soon as you stand up, it completely breaks that image. Completely. And what ends up happening is the animal starts stressing out, which is the last thing anyone wants to do. I mean, you do get the odd exception, but, you know, most people tend to try and avoid stressing out an animal. So, like I said, guides don't just say it for their health, it actually really does play a role. I mean, if you've got a male lion walking past your vehicle and someone stands up, I guarantee you that lion will start putting interest into whoever's standing up as prey and not just a vehicle. Not just ignore it as if it were a vehicle. Did VM just say something? No. Sounded like the naught button got clicked on TeamSpeak. Oh, really nice to spend some time with hippo mom and calf. I don't think I've actually spent time with them in quite a while. So very nice to catch up with them. Dad being very protective of mom and calf, as he should. But they're looking rather sleepy. Oh, I'm noticing some fish here. Check that ripple there. Because all three hippos are up. There's ripples throughout the dam here, folks. So there must be fish in here. Now, I have heard Greer mention that they've put tilapia in, I think it's just Leadwood Dam at the moment, but I could be mistaken. There are tilapia in Leadwood Dam. But I think throughout all the dams, there are catfish. Now, catfish are actually pretty cool creatures. They can, throughout winter and the dry months, if they find a muddy enough patch, the top layer of mud will dry up, but the moisture and that soft mud underground, because it's cooler, will remain semi-soft. Let's not say it's hardened like cement. And these fish basically go dormant for, let's say, maybe a couple of weeks, if you will. It's only at the final stretches of the dry season that this happens, because they will pretty much stay in whatever water they have available until there's nothing left. And then basically, as soon as the first rains hit and that top layer of soil becomes soft enough, they break out, and then boom, you have fish again. So I think catfish are highly underrated animals. I mean, for their survival strategy, I think they've got it nailed there. All right, Mr. Hippo and Mrs. Hippos. I suppose we still don't know what the calf is, do we? Do we?
No, I don't think we do.
We'll make that a challenge in the next 2 weeks to try and figure out if it's a male or female. Let me know in the comments if any of you folks know. Maybe one of the other guides cracked it and I've just missed that announcement. But look at that, eh? Just stunning. Look at all of that. Wow. Goodbye, beautiful hippos. I love you. I love all the animals on the Rietspruit Game Reserve, folks. Nothing is more important than the other. Everything works within a balance. That is nature, basically. Now, what are we going to look for? Basil, suggestions. Folks, suggestions. What is the next task at hand? What are we going to tick off next? Basil, you champion. Yes, you're on par today, eh? Basil's coming in here, he's like, Andrew, this, you're forgetting this. Ugh. I'm like, Basil's right, I can't even argue. I was about to turn around and be like, no, Basil, you're wrong, but he's right. Folks, if you haven't already emailed the keyword of the week, it is a lovely photograph taken by our wondrous cameraman, who is our cameraman as we speak. Basil's image. It is a lovely image of a giraffe, and the key word is ossicones. So please do email that to info@paintedog.tv to receive your high resolution print. And let me know in the comments what animal you would like to see next for next week's keyword. And I might just be able to make that happen. Now folks, for those of you who are wondering how do I get my hands on said image, you have to become a pack member. Now, to become a pack member, all you need to do is look at the description at the bottom of this video, and there will be a step-by-step process as to how to become a pack member. Now, becoming a pack member doesn't mean you just get to interact with us guides. It means you get the weekly photo, and you pretty much directly contribute to animal conservation, which I think is phenomenal. Slender mongoose. Can you get him, Basil? I know it's far. He's stopped there, though. To the right. There. That. No, there we go. Slender mongoose. Isn't that phenomenal? Is that a... Oh, it's a banded mongoose. Where are your friends? There must be more somewhere. They're not solitary, that I'm aware of. Oh, he's going. Get closer and see if we can't see any of his friends. Well, that's peculiar. One banded mongoose. Maybe he's just the straggler of the group. And you can see this corrugation on the road is getting worse and worse with the rain. People consistently driving up and down. Oh wow, there's more than one here, folks, and they're actually super chilled. This is the closest I've gotten to banded mongoose in a long time. Don't go anywhere. Come back. Having a forage. Looking for any insects, grubs, scorpions. But they might. I'm going to pull forward for you, Basil. Let's just hope they don't run. Oh, oh. There. Alrighty. Well, I mean, the fact that they stood still just to even get the camera on them was phenomenal. Banded mongoose, folks. I thought it was a slender mongoose because I only saw the one, and I do know for a fact slender mongoose, unless they're breeding, well, mating, or they have a young one, they are solitary. Now, I read something very interesting the other day, and I'm going to be saying that quite a bit because I've been doing quite some research lately, just so I can keep providing you with the latest and greatest information. I'm currently actually reading a thesis on the ecology of leopards. I'm also reading a thesis on black leopards as well. But before I give you the stats on the black leopards I learned, I read something about mongooses the other day. Mongoose, mongai, mongooses, one of the three. I mean, technically it should be mongooses, but let's not get into that. It's one of the three. We'll just accept it as is. Multiple mongoose, let's call it that. But out of all the mongoose species, you know, we've got the water mongoose, we've got the yellow mongoose, we've got slender mongoose, we've got banded mongoose, we've got water mongoose, no? White-tailed mongoose. There's another one that I haven't seen, I can't remember the name, but it's got a name before the species. It's like whoever discovered it, the name's first. Is it in the book? Let's just check here quick. This is where, Andrew, this is where you pull your book after, eh? Surely there's a glossary. CHM, mammal pollinator, metamorphosis, moribund. I'm looking for mongoose. They don't seem to have mongoose in this lovely book called Game Ranger in Your Backpack. The bread and butter to guiding, folks, or so they say. Like I said, I've just questioned one thing they've mentioned about cheetah bringing down wildebeest. They don't bring down wildebeest, they don't bring down big game. Well, courtesy of the cheetah boys, we know they do. Like I said, we know they brought down that kudu bull on Kaya once. Wasn't a fully mature one, but regardless, a kudu bull is huge considering it's the second largest antelope in South Africa. I mean, well, in Africa. So, you know, that goes against what this book says. So, I suppose this is another lesson we need to learn, that no book is 100% right either. You have to read multiple sources and then take an average of what all those sources say. And also, you know, you come up with your own information. The more you witness things happen, the more behavior you see. So, like, I'm physically a cheetah taking down large prey. I think the biggest thing I've seen a cheetah take down is at a horse camp. But I know for it that take down big. So therefore, with what this book says of them taking large prey, I contradict that statement. Oh, good. Every time we're on Leadwood Drive is when the signal goes kaput. Well, it's where the other day we didn't have the greatest of drives. Andrew was a bit fed up with all the G's that were attacking. Andrew got a bit over it all. A little bit and understand. Andrew got very, very over the G's very quickly, especially when it happened 6 times consecutively whilst I'm trying to say the same thing. So, yeah, that got the better of me the other day. But I'm back on TeamSpeak now. Where are we going, folks? Does anyone want to see anything specific? Do we want to maybe go try and find some impala lambs? Do we want to go see if we can't check Seskan Crypt for a leopard? Do we want to go see if we can't find white rhino? Let me know. Let me know. How's it, guys? Have you got? Yeah, I can't complain. You guys? Had a good afternoon. Have you guys seen the cheetah yet? Okay, cool. Sweet. Cheers, guys. Have a good one. Now, Leadwood's normally abundant with life in terms of your plains game. Giraffe, kudu, wildebeest, zebra. I haven't seen anything. Actually, I haven't seen a giraffe today. Basil, something's wrong on Rietspruit. Because literally, folks, Rietspruit, this is not factual, this is just Andrew's opinion. Rietspruit has the highest population of giraffe in southern Africa. No, I'm joking, it just feels like we see them everywhere and anywhere. But when you're not trying to see them is when you see them all the time. When you try and see them, you see a big fat zero. You don't see them. They seem to just hide away from you and make you look like you don't know what you're doing. There's some impala Basil's pointed out. They're quite far at the back, but I'm sure he can get that one at the front. There's a big herd of impala there, actually. But it's the perfect time to stop so I can look at the comments real quick while Basil focuses on that. Oh, sorry folks if you heard that. Did you hear that, Basil? Oh no, this microphone is too good. The fact that it hears my neck click even. Sorry folks, that was my stomach if you thought it was a bird or a lion or something. My stomach basically sounded like a little brand new lion cub going meow. Oh, it did it again. I'm so sorry, I wish I could stop it. Oh, I can't stop it. I don't know why it's doing this, folks. Please don't judge me. I really wish I could turn it off. It's not working with me. Mary just... Ah, Carol got the one I was trying to say. Mellor's mongoose. That's it. That's the fifth one I was missing, or the sixth one. Mary, the only one I can see there that you've missed, dwarf, is yellow, Mellors, and water mongoose. The books are as accurate as your life story written by someone who only... Mary, couldn't agree with you more. That is a phenomenal way to put it. Phenomenal way to put it. Can hear some European bee-eaters calling. Now, Andrew's ADHD did kick in there for a second, folks, but the mongoose fact, impalas, I'm going to live and leave you. We're going to make haste towards the dams, water sources. Now, the mongoose fact I was trying to get to, in terms of slender mongoose, I read this. I don't know how accurate this is because there was no scientific evidence to back it up. And I tried to look for a thesis or a scientific study paper on it. Couldn't find anything. I'm sure there's one somewhere. There's a website called ResearchGate that Gareth introduced me to. But because I'm not a researcher, I can't access any of the papers. So basically I'm on there just for the titles. So I did get rid of that. I wasn't sticking around for just titles and then saying, subscribe as a researcher to get the full paper. I'm not a researcher. And I mean, I said I'm a naturalist and they were like, ah, you're still not a researcher, sorry. So there was that. But did you know that out of all the mongoose species, the slender mongoose is the most equipped for climbing trees? Now I really wish I could delve into more depth in this, so I'm going to do a bit more research on this. But apparently the slender mongoose is the most adapted for climbing trees. Like I can understand why a white-tailed mongoose per se isn't the very best because of its large size. I mean, it's bigger than a normal house cat, if you will. So, well, some of the individuals are bigger than a house cat. Some of them are the same size. The other night I actually went on a bumble. I actually found 2 white-tailed mongoose in a single drive, which I was quite chuffed with. Also managed to find the first chameleon of the season, which was really awesome. And I don't know if any of you folks saw my Instagram story about the bumble and what I saw, but I forgot to add an animal in that I've just remembered now because I was investigating that smelly carcass in the deep slurred drainage. We couldn't find what it was. Gareth and I went walking up and down, couldn't find it, couldn't smell it the very next day, which was mind-blowing considering how smelly it was apparently. But I actually also managed to see my first black-backed jackal in, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 months. I mean, even they are more rare than the leopards on this reserve. I wouldn't mind finding a jackal on this drive though. Now, I think we're just gonna slowly start heading towards Blowbunk and just to see what nature provides. Head towards Seskankrip because we know it's a good central point, especially for rhino. We know the elephants love going there on a hot summer's day. So we'll head to Seskankrip, hopefully pick up tracks of something, and we will, hopefully, we find fresh enough tracks, follow suit. Now folks, I'm so sorry I did not, for the few of you that were on that Zoom drive where we had the gymnogenes flying past, the photos I took, they were okay. They weren't in focus though, which is the only reason I didn't send them through. They weren't in focus, but if you want the motion blur picture, let me know and I'll still send it through. But you know, I don't want you to think less of me as a photographer because they weren't the greatest photos. I wasn't chuffed with them. I was not proud of them. I let them go into the bank of photos. I tried to edit them and then I saw they weren't in focus and I was like, maybe another day we'll try and edit these, but it's not working today. Try again next time. Oh, I nearly just threw my phone out of the car. Got to head to work. Thanks for the drive. Bye, Carol. Take care. Good luck at work. And we'll see you again soon. Speaking of work, I'm so privileged to call this my job. I mean, even if I wasn't guiding, just being on camera and being able to go out to the African bush every day. I think the most amazing part about this job is the fact that each and every day is similar in the same routine, you know, afternoon game drive, wake up in the morning, edit for 8 hours. But the thing about the game drives for me is, you know you're going on a game drive. You don't know what you're going to see, you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know how much you're going to see. You just don't know. And I feel like that feeling of not knowing what's going on, it just creates excitement. Well, for me especially, it creates like a burning fire in my belly. I'm being excessively dramatic now, but it creates a fire in my belly and I'm just like, oh, you know. And that's why I keep saying, I don't know if you've heard Gareth and Victoria, I think they're getting sick of me saying it, but I'm going to keep saying it on every single drive. Tola and Ingwe, because I want to see an Ingwe. I am dying to see a leopard. What's the last leopard I saw? I can't tell you. Ah, wasn't it? It was last cycle, wasn't it? The one we had drinking at Seacoy. And then I saw the flash of the tail with the second, but I don't think Basil believes me on that one. I think he thinks I'm talking rubbish. Most people would, you know. Like literally I saw the tip of the tail running into the bush. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe I saw a white butterfly flying off into the bush, but I stick with it. I stick with it being a leopard. So last cycle we got treated. So I don't know how long the next leopard drought is going to be. Maybe we find one now. I'm always hopeful though. Hence why I say on every drive, whenever Gareth or Victoria say to everyone, what do you want to see? Tola Ingwe, please. Even if I'm on camera, I whisper it to them. I'm like, Ingwe, please. Make it your mission. Asseblief. Asseblief is the Afrikaans word for please. Yeah, I don't know. I just love them so much. There's just something unique. They're not better than the rest. I don't know. I think there's just something for me that stands that makes leopards stand out among the rest. And I think it's the fact that they're so hard to find. Now, on a reserve like this, it's taught me to really appreciate it. Back in my last job, I was like, damn it, we could be seeing a lot more leopard. Meanwhile, I was seeing minimum 3 leopards a week. And here I am now seeing a leopard every 4 months. So, you know, even the sightings where I get to see a rosette through the bush, I'm like, that was extraordinary. That was wild. But I'm itching for a photo of a leopard in a tree on Rietspruit. Specifically, that marula as you're driving back towards camp, with the mountain in the background, at sunset, leopard silhouette in a tree. You know, is it too much to ask for, folks? I don't think so. I mean, nature thinks so, but I don't. I think it's, you know, like, you know that typical leopard shot everyone gets? Leopard in a marula tree. I want that. I still haven't got that. I've actually never seen a leopard in a marula tree, believe it or not. Our leopards in the Pilanesberg used to love the olive trees, surprisingly, considering how thick they were. It makes sense though. They would hoist their kills up in those trees, which, although they're harder to access, excuse me, they're harder to access, but I mean in terms of prey from above, like the vultures and other animals seeing it in the tree, that foliage and the thickness of olive trees, I think, was the perfect concealment. Was the perfect concealment for the leopards of the Pilanesberg. But thinking back now, surprisingly, I didn't see a single vulture while working in the Pilanesberg. Now, there's many rumors as to why that is. Because it's a volcanic crater, the park is situated in the crater. Now, I think, if I recall correctly, the main theory was because it's in a crater, hot air rises, low air sinks. It was kind of causing distress with the thermals, sending the thermals all over the places. So if a vulture were to ride a thermal and go up and up and up, it would kind of not be able to be in control of that. It kind of would go with the flow type thing, and that was the theory whilst I was there. I don't know if anyone's actually done a scientific study, but, you know, one day maybe someone will. I would be very interested to read that paper. Very interested. How's it, guys? Alrighty. So there's a car that's just come down Seskant. But that doesn't mean that they saw everything that was on the road. A lot of the times people will be like, oh, I don't want to drive that road, there's a car on it already. You know, not everyone has the same set of eyes. People miss things, as well as some people tend to drive faster than others in reserves, and at whatever speed they drive, they also may miss things. Not necessarily because their sight isn't great, just they might drive straight past it. So you never, ever really know. And that's also another thing I really do love about this job. I mean, an elephant could charge us out of the bush as we speak. That's a terrible example. A rhino could be giving birth around the corner. That's a better example. A rhino could be giving birth around the corner. We don't know, and then we drive past it, see it, boom. Mind blown, you know? So it's just that constant unknowing of what's going to happen next that I think I've got a bit of an addiction to. It really has taken me by surprise. But I love it. I love it. I love all of you. You know, there's nothing better being out with great company. Well, when I say great company, great people, great views, great weather, great game viewing, regardless of you actually seeing animals or not. By game viewing, I mean just being one with nature, getting to see the scenery, getting to see all the smaller things, dung beetles, birds, bees, reptiles. And I am going to do a reptile focused drive. I actually saw an armor-plated lizard, also known as a girdled lizard, the other day, which I tried to catch, but he was too quick for me. Now, a girdled lizard is the lizards that basically roll up into a ball, and they've got spikes on them. But the reason they're called, they've got a nickname, an armadillo lizard, is because they actually roll in that ball as a protective mechanism, and those spikes, when they roll, protrude. So if any predator or any bird try and swoop down and take that lizard by surprise, it's like eating a mouthful of thorns. So no one really wants that, you know. So they've got quite a unique defense mechanism, but I find it truly fascinating, you know. Like, how did this lizard know, like, through evolution, to develop these spiny protrusions on the back and roll up like an armadillo, hence the nickname, the armadillo lizard. They're really cool. And like Carol said, she's seen a plated lizard on Critter Cam. I've personally witnessed a giant plated lizard on Coconut Crossing, Andrew's very least favorite road, considering thrown out of a Land Cruiser going up there. But you know, the fact that there could be a possibility of seeing a giant plated lizard, I think it might be worth investigating again. Not now, because it's getting cooler. Everything is, all the reptiles are now going to try and find some warm places to shelter under rocks on the hot sand that's been absorbing the sun the whole day. But particularly rocks and crevices in rocks, because the rocks absorb all the heat during the day, they kind of act as a heating blanket at night. You know, if they're in the crevasses of the rocks or underneath the rock, that heat is still dissipated through the rock, and the reptiles take full advantage of that. Snakes, spiders, scorpions will be there. I've seen a lot of scorpions since the rain. Who knows, maybe we get one of them on drive. I'm contemplating buying a UV torch again. I think that'll be quite cool to bring on game drive, show you how the exoskeleton shines back. Long time no see. Sure, it's like I saw you guys 40 minutes ago.
I tried my best to get away.
Have you guys had any more luck? Is it?
Tigers, lots of them.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised they called this reserve Leadwood, to be totally honest. I thought they would have called it Dacre.
I proposed to rename it.
Oh, I'll talk to Kevin. Cheers, guys. Have a good one. Just some friendly banter with some of the homeowners on Leadwood. But I mean, to be fair, that is a thought I've had for ages. Why did they name it Leadwood? Now, apparently it's because there was a huge leadwood tree on Leadwood years and yonks ago, and that's why they called it Leadwood. Meanwhile, looking back over the past 10 years, I would call it Dacre Game Reserve, just due to the sheer number of Dacre we see. I think if anything, if Basil and I tried our hardest and we just went looking for Dacre on a 2-hour game drive, I think we'd at least crack 10 Dacre. What do you say? Do you think that's too high? Really? Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, I've seen six Dacres at Kudu Krippet once before. Like, how amazing, folks, was the drive yesterday with Victoria and those rhino on the airstrip. I've never seen so many white rhino together. The most rhino I've ever seen together before yesterday, believe it or not, was black rhino. I saw 5 black rhinos in the pit congregated drinking together. Oh, I thought you were a Dacre. Got some impalalas. Oh, they're gonna go. Don't stress, Basil. They're not working with us. They're like, oh, Andrew's coming, let's go. Maybe they're going though because the universe is gonna provide Andrew with an ingwe. Or who knows, maybe we find the next chameleon, folks. I wouldn't mind finding another chameleon. Just log back onto the YouTubes. My phone has booted me once again. There is a Kevin here and a Greer. No luck with the Ellies, eh? I've come down Seskant from Twin Crossings.
You didn't go down Kudu?
Okay. Not today.
Where are you going?
I'm going to head towards Leopard Dam.
Okay, I'll go up to
Yeah.
the airstrip then.
Okay. Cool. Cheers, guys. Have a good one. Do you know what the worst thing about re-logging into YouTube is? The actual YouTube video plays and I can hear myself in my ear. And if anything, the only thing I hate in the world more than like sunburn per se is the sound of my own voice when I hear it. When I'm speaking, I'm okay. But when I hear it being played back, I'm like, oh, turn that off. You can ask Basil. Countless times he's been editing videos where I've been guiding and I'm like, Basil, put your earphones on. Because I don't like hearing my own voice. But I feel like everyone's quite similar in that sense, that they don't like hearing their own voice. Alright, so we're near Pompat here. So on the way towards Leopard Dam, folks. And I know the two male lions were here last night, but I don't know where they would have headed from here. I'm sure they moved throughout the night, but we left them stationary at Leopard Dam. So if we find any male lion tracks, and you can tell the difference between the male and female lion tracks, I have finally learned how to do so. It takes a lot of practice though, and you have to consistently be seeing them. And also, while I'm is I actually look at the ground next to them and look at the tracks, and then also same with the males. As they pass the vehicle, I look down, I look at the tracks, and I analyze them, and I'm like, okay, for next time, that is a male, that is a female. Now I'm also hoping in these next 2 weeks, folks, we can crack some epic birds. I'm talking carmine bee-eater, I'm talking European bee-eater, I'm talking grey-headed kingfisher, folks. Andrew's got some missions and goals to get done, so we can basically say to Gareth and Victoria, look at all the cool stuff we found. And also, I've been searching for a grey-headed kingfisher for the past 4 years. So if that was on a live drive for us, folks, you might see me jump into the dam with the hippos. I'm not even kidding. Or I'll literally run down the road stark naked, like, oh, I'm dying to see that bird. One day we will. 4 years and counting, but there was one seen on Leadwood the other day, so that's why I'm hopeful. We're gonna definitely do 1 or 2 drives through Fig Tree Forest and Leadwood side as well. Maybe search for those potential jackal pups still. Hopefully they're all still around. I've got some exciting things planned, folks, so just stay tuned. This is just a taster of what's to come. But Yeah, I've got some things lined up. I've got some plans in the works. Got some tricks up my sleeve, which I'm very excited to put. Mary, that's amazing. As soon as I hear my voice, I'm like, no thank you, don't play that, that's terrible. Now, I am also, what I'm doing when I shine at trees is I'm looking for basically a seed pod that shines back a very bright whitish green. It almost reflects the torch back at you, it's so bright. And that's how we spot chameleons. So if we do see one, I will point it out. I won't go and pick it out of the tree, but I will get out and show you the actual chameleon.
The tree lies right north along Hoofpad. They are heading south towards Hoofpad. That doesn't make too much sense. They just give me a location. You said they're heading south towards Hoofpad. You said they were on Hoofpad.
This radio can go down. We don't want to scare any potential. Folks, I've just seen leopard tracks that are fresher than anything I've seen in the past, I don't know, maybe 2 months. Let's get to Leopard Dam. I mean, quite ironic, don't you think? So I'm just going to approach rather slowly. I'm also going to keep my voice down. It could be for nothing, but these tracks are fresh, folks. These tracks are super fresh. So I do have my hopes up. Expectations aren't high though. What was that? Did you hear that? Oh, Andrew drove over a stick and it sounded like things scurrying off into the bush. That's awkward, eh? The lesser spotted death stick. Come on, Ingwe. So there's also male lion tracks here, but from last night. So this is where they must have come up towards the dam. There's a red-chested cuckoo calling. Don't know if you can hear it. I'm gonna just try and respond for woodland kingfisher. Let's live. I've been practicing my bird calls, so you don't think I'm a kingfisher, but the reason I was tapping my face like that is to try and get the at the end. That. We're close, folks. If we get a kingfisher, woodland kingfisher that is, on live, that'll be phenomenal. Alrighty. Oh my god, there it is. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Woodland kingfisher. You see it there, Basil? Woodland kingfisher, folks. Get in. Yes. He's like, look at the vibrant turquoise and dark red bill. You see the bottom half of that bill is black. It almost looks like he's wearing a top layer of lipstick. Where'd you go? Oh no. Well. Oh. What is that? Awesome, folks. There's a migrant to tick off our list. I don't know, has Gareth found that? Has Gareth put it on camera? Victoria? Yes, please. I'll take that. Woodland kingfisher, they are back and in full force. So are the red-chested cuckoos, aka the Piet May fro. There's one calling as we speak. You probably won't be able to hear it from over the vehicle. But I mean, believe it or not, folks, we did a private drive last night for Brent somewhere. And I heard a red-chested cuckoo calling at 8:30 at night last night. I was blown away. I thought they would have been sleeping by then, but apparently not. Apparently, they still call at that time of the day, which blew my mind. Honestly, I was so amazed by it that I literally, at the end of drive, I said, "Victoria, is that normal? Have you ever heard that?" She was like, I didn't hear anything. I was like, "Are you sure?" And she didn't hear it. And I was like, "Okay, well, let's go play the recording back." Played the recording back, and boom, red-chested cuckoo calling at 8:30 at night. Phenomenal. Doesn't get much better. And I mean, how awesome is this? You're not looking at Andrew dressed as a bank robber with a balaclava, 4 jackets, you know. Basil's wearing a jacket, believe it or not. I'm not. Oh, I love summertime. I don't like all the bugs flying into my face, ear, and like shirt, but it's part and parcel of it, so I'll take it any day. Any day. The only thing I really don't like about summer is the mosquitoes. And the mosquitoes have been quite bad. I don't know, you said there were also like 60 in your tent the other night, eh? Yeah. I don't know how they seem to be coming through the mesh or something, but the other night I went into my tent and there were at least 60 mosquitoes, and Basil said he pretty much had the same, which I was like, well, but I haven't left it open, like it's closed, everything's closed, there's no way for these things to get in. How are they getting in? So I don't know if they're sneaking through the little mesh of the windows of the tent, but whatever they're doing a good job at getting in, that's for sure. Impalalas. Hello. Sorry guys, can we just come past here? I don't want to shine. I feel like that's the first woodland kingfisher we've heard on safari this season. Well, then Mary, it's the first you've heard and seen on safari this season. That's why I was celebrating, saying I'll take it. Add that to my list of firsts. Get in. Yes, please. Oh, yes. It's going to be a phenomenal 2 weeks, folks. I'm telling you now, if this is just the beginning, can you imagine the shenanigans we're going to get up to in the next 2 weeks? Sure, Gareth and Victoria are going to come back and they're going to be on drive and be like, "Oh, I've forgotten how to do this." And they're going to come back and be like, "Where did all the dead trees go?" Because it's going to be completely different by the time they get back. 2 weeks doesn't seem like a long time, but here in the bush, especially where things change overnight, sure, it's going to be a whole new world for them when they come back. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Connie. We did indeed. I'll take it. But it was a team effort. It was all of us. It wasn't just Basil and I. It was all of you as well. We're all together here. We're working as one. We're not one individual or just me and Basil. we are a team.
Car on middle of the airstrip.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Kevin has just located No Hope and Calf. No Hope's calf is getting huge, folks, by the way, and she has a decent now as well, which is phenomenal. So it's great to see her doing so fantastically well. Hopefully we can see her on drive soon again as well. Now I wonder where that 5th lioness and the 2 male lions are. Quiet this side. Kind of hoping for something along the lines of a civet, a bush baby, porcupine, genet. I mean, the main goal, to be totally honest, at the moment, to tick off the nocturnal list. But honey badger you can pretty much find throughout the day and night. They kind of move when they want to. All the silver clusters is growing leaves again. This is phenomenal to see all this growth coming through again. Sure, the elephants did a fine job of tearing these trees down. Silly elephants. You don't need to clear the areas that are cleared. You need to clear the thick areas. Madams and sirs. I still find it pretty awesome that we managed to score a 3rd bull elephant. I don't know if he's gone back next door or not, but you know, I suppose we won't say no to a 3rd elephant or an extra elephant. Beautiful, beautiful evening. Super spoiled to have spent time with my bye-bye and cub. And honestly, looking very forward to the next 2 weeks with all you beautiful people. But for now, fortunately, we've reached the end, but it's not the end for good. It's the end until Sunday. So I shall see all of you beautiful people Sunday, and bye for now, folks. We'll see you soon. Take care.